Everyone online seems to agree on one thing: Nordic parenting is better. Calmer kids. Happier families. More independence. Less chaos. And if you believe the clips and quotes, it almost looks like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland cracked some secret code the rest of the world missed. But here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. Nordic parenting isn't a magic method. It's not a cheat code. And if you try to copy it without understanding what's behind it, it can backfire so hard you'll end up thinking, this doesn't work, when the real issue is, you copied the surface, not the system. So in this video, I'm going to answer one simple question: is Nordic parenting really better? And the answer is going to make some people uncomfortable. Because the truth is, the better parts come with trade-offs, and some of those trade-offs are the exact reasons many families would never want it, even if they admire it. Let's start with why Nordic parenting looks so perfect online. Most viral videos and posts show the same highlights: children walking to school alone, playing outside in the cold like it's nothing, parents who barely raise their voice, and kids who seem strangely confident and self-controlled for their age. From the outside, it looks like freedom. Like trust. Like calm. And compared to the more anxious, overscheduled, hyper-supervised style a lot of people are used to, it can feel like watching another planet. But the first truth you need to understand is this. What people call Nordic parenting is often the visible result of an invisible support system. It's not just how parents talk to their kids. It's also where they live. How safe their neighborhoods are. How their schools function. What their work culture expects. And how their society treats families. When those pieces exist, parenting looks different, because life is different. So when people say Nordic kids are more independent, the real question is, independent from what? In many Nordic places, kids can walk or bike to school because streets are designed to be safer for that. Communities expect kids to be out. Drivers expect it. Adults keep an eye out. It's not just parents letting go. It's a whole environment that makes letting go possible. Now, that doesn't mean Nordic parents are perfect. It means their parenting style is designed for their environment, and their environment supports that parenting style. That's why copying it can be complicated. Now let's talk about what Nordic parenting actually is, because the biggest myth is that it's just gentle parenting. Nordic parenting is not no rules. It's not kids run the house. It's not everything is negotiable. If anything, it's often stricter than people realize. It's just strict in a quieter way. In many Nordic households, the rules are simple, predictable, and consistent. They don't use a lot of dramatic threats. They don't repeat instructions 10 times. They don't usually rely on fear to create obedience. Instead, they rely on structure and expectation. And that's the difference. A lot of parenting cultures focus on control in the moment. Do what I said, right now. Nordic parenting tends to focus on training over time. This is how we do things in this family. This is what's expected. And you already know that. So the discipline isn't missing. It's just less theatrical. You might not see yelling, but you will see boundaries. You might not see punishments, but you will see consequences. You might not see parents begging or bribing, but you will see routines that don't move just because a child complains. And here's something people really don't like hearing. One reason Nordic parenting looks so calm is because it demands more emotional control from the parent. A lot of parents want the calm house, but not the personal self-control it takes to build it. In Nordic culture, losing your temper regularly is often viewed as embarrassing. Not just bad, but socially immature. That pressure doesn't magically make parenting easier. It forces adults to regulate themselves. So when you see a calm parent, you're often seeing years of practice, habits, and a cultural expectation that says, handle yourself. That's not effortless. That's training. Now let's get into the truth nobody likes, because this is where the fantasy starts cracking. The first trade-off is freedom. Nordic parenting gives kids a lot of freedom early. Independent play. Independent movement. Independent decision-making in small ways. To some people, that sounds amazing. To others, it looks like neglect. And that's the first clash. In many places, good parenting is defined as constant supervision. If you're not watching, you're not caring. In many Nordic places, good parenting is defined as building a child who can function without you hovering. So a child walking to school alone might be praised as healthy independence in one culture, and reported as irresponsible in another. Same behavior. Different worldview. The second trade-off is something people rarely talk about: social pressure. Nordic societies often have strong norms. Not always loud, but strong. That means you get a sense of community and shared expectations, which can be great for children. But it also means parents can feel watched, not in a paranoid way, but in a "we all know what's normal here" way. If you're too strict, people notice. If you're too loud, people notice. If you're too chaotic in public, people notice. And some people love that because it creates order. But other people hate it because it feels like quiet judgment. So when someone says, Nordic parents don't care what others think, that's not always true. Often, Nordic parenting works because parents do care what the community expects, and they align with it. The third trade-off is this: the calm comes from emotional training, not from kids being naturally easy. Nordic kids aren't born calmer. They're raised with routines and expectations that push them to self-regulate. They're taught early that feelings are okay, but behavior has limits. And that can be an incredible skill. But it can also be frustrating for parents from cultures where comfort comes first. Because Nordic parenting can look like this: I understand you're upset. And the answer is still no. No panic. No guilt. No over-explaining. No bargaining. For some parents, that feels empowering. For others, it feels cold. Not because it's wrong, but because it's different from what they were taught love looks like. The fourth trade-off is the one people almost never mention: not every child thrives under high autonomy. Some kids love independence. Some kids need more guidance. More structure. More reassurance. More direction. If you have a child who struggles with anxiety, impulsivity, attention, or emotional overwhelm, a hands-off style can feel like being dropped in deep water and told, "You'll learn to swim." Nordic parenting can still work for those kids, but it often requires more intentional support than the stereotype suggests. Because the truth is, Nordic parents aren't hands-off. They're strategically involved. They just don't hover. They watch. They guide. They step in when needed. But they don't rescue at every discomfort. And that brings us to the fifth trade-off, the one that explains everything. A big part of better outcomes is not parenting. It's stability. When families have more stability, safer neighborhoods, stronger safety nets, more predictable childcare options, less extreme work schedules, parents have more bandwidth. And when parents have more bandwidth, they're calmer. More consistent. More patient. It's not magic. It's capacity. So if you're watching Nordic parenting videos while living in a place where you're exhausted, overworked, stressed about money, worried about safety, and juggling everything alone, you're not watching a parenting method. You're watching a parenting method that's being supported by a different reality. Now, does that mean Nordic parenting is overrated? No. It means it's misunderstood. And the biggest mistake people make is they try to copy the visible habits, like letting kids roam, or being ultra-calm, without copying the invisible principles underneath. So let's clear up the myths quickly. Myth number 1, Nordic kids are naturally better behaved. Truth. Their environment rewards independence, and their parenting is consistent over time. Myth number 2, there's no discipline. Truth, the discipline is quieter and more predictable. Myth number 3, it's all about being gentle. Truth, it's actually about boundaries without humiliation. Myth number 4, outdoor time is the magic ingredient. Truth, outdoor time helps, but it doesn't replace structure. Myth number 5, you can copy-paste it anywhere. Truth. You can copy principles, not the entire system. And that's where the video becomes useful, because even if you don't live in Scandinavia, there are parts of Nordic parenting you can take that actually work almost anywhere. Here are 5. First, calm authority. Not permissive. Not aggressive. Calm authority. That means fewer words, fewer threats, fewer repeated warnings. A clear rule. A clear outcome. Consistency. Second, independence training. Nordic parents often build competence through small responsibilities, not big speeches. Simple things, putting shoes away, packing a bag, helping set the table, carrying their own items, doing small tasks daily. Competence builds confidence, and confidence reduces tantrums. Third, outdoor time as a habit, not a reward. Not, if you behave, we go outside. More like, we go outside because humans need it. It becomes normal, and kids regulate better when their bodies move and their brains reset. Fourth, boundaries without humiliation. Correct the behavior without attacking the child's identity. Not, you're bad. More like, that behavior isn't okay. That single shift changes everything. Fifth, community parenting. Nordic parenting thrives because kids have more trusted adults around them, teachers, neighbors, coaches, family friends. If you want the benefits, build even a small community, 1 or 2 trusted adults who support your child and reinforce the same values. Now let's make this practical. If you want to test whether Nordic principles would help your family, don't try to change everything. Pick one idea for 7 days. Here's an easy one clear rule, 1 predictable consequence. For example, when we come home, shoes go in the same place. If it doesn't happen, there's a consistent follow-up, we stop and do it before anything else. No lecture. No explosion. No 10 warnings. Just calm repetition. Or try this, 1 daily independence task. 1 small thing your child is responsible for every day, with support at first, and then gradually less help. Or try this, a daily outdoor hour. Not for perfection. Not for Instagram. Just for regulation. And after 7 days, ask 1 question. Did your home feel calmer, not because your child became perfect, but because your routines became predictable? That's the real Nordic secret. Not perfect kids. Predictable life. So is Nordic parenting really better? Here's the honest answer. Nordic parenting is better at one thing, building independence and emotional regulation in a society that supports those goals. But it's not automatically better for every family, every child, or every culture. And the truth nobody likes is that you can't download it like an app. You can't copy the freedom without a safe environment. You can't copy the calm without practicing self-control. You can't copy the results without consistency. But you can absolutely take the principles. Calm authority, independence training, outdoor habits, dignity-based discipline, and small community support, and adapt them to your life, your child, and your reality. If you want more videos like this, real comparisons, real trade-offs, and the Nordic rules Americans misunderstand the most, subscribe now. And tell me in the comments, which part of Nordic parenting do you admire, and which part would drive you crazy if you had to live it every day?